My name is Emily. I was always the girl who tried to be perfect, straight A's, cheer captain, always smiling. But behind that smile, I carried so many secrets. My mom remarried 2 years ago, and that's when Adam became my stepfather. Adam was different from the other men my mom dated. He was calm, mature, and always looked at me with eyes that seemed to see through my soul. At first, I thought it was just fatherly care. But after tonight, I wasn't so sure. It was a warm Friday evening when everything started. My mom was out of town visiting her sister, so it was just me and Adam at home. I had just finished my finals, and Adam thought it would be fun to celebrate together. He brought out a bottle of wine, smiling at me like we were partners in crime. "Just one glass," he teased, handing me a crystal glass that sparkled under the kitchen lights. I laughed, feeling free for the first time in a while. The first sip burned a little, but Adam kept pouring, telling stories about his college days, and making me laugh so hard I almost fell off my chair. As the night went on, I started feeling a warmth spread through my body, not just from the wine, but from the way he looked at me. His gaze lingered a little too long on my lips, my shoulders. I felt my cheeks flush every time our eyes locked. We moved to the living room, sitting on the big gray couch. The music was soft, some old romantic jazz song playing in the background. I took another sip and then another, feeling my head spin, but in a way that felt almost delicious. Adam reached out and tucked a strand of hair behind my ear. His fingers brushed my neck lightly, sending a shiver through me. "You're beautiful, Emily," he said in a voice so low it felt like a secret between us. My heart pounded against my ribs. I knew I should have pulled away, but I didn't. Instead, I leaned closer, feeling the electricity between us charge the air. Suddenly, we were both laughing again, leaning into each other. I felt his strong arm around my shoulders, pulling me closer. Our laughter slowed, turning into long, breathless stares. My lips parted slightly, my heart screaming at me to stop, but my body leaning forward anyway. Then, without thinking, I pressed my lips to his. It was soft at first, like testing the waters, but then his hand slid to my waist, pulling me firmly against him. His lips tasted like wine, sweet and dangerous. I don't know how long we stayed like that, seconds, minutes, maybe hours. All I knew was the warmth of his hands and the feeling of being wanted, really wanted, for the first time in my life. When we finally pulled back, I saw the conflict in his eyes. We both knew we had crossed a line, but in that moment, it didn't matter. It felt like the entire world had faded away, leaving just the two of us in that quiet, dimly lit room. Adam stood up, breathing heavily, running a hand through his hair. "We can't. Emily, this isn't right," he whispered. But the way his eyes roamed over me said otherwise. I stood too, my legs unsteady. I put my hands on his chest, feeling his heartbeat match mine. "I know, but I don't want to stop," I confessed, my voice barely above a whisper. He looked at me, torn, his hands coming up to cup my face gently. Then he pulled me into another kiss, deeper, more desperate this time. His hands moved down my back, making me feel like I was melting right into him. We finally broke apart, both breathing hard, our faces flushed. He kissed my forehead and held me close, as if he was afraid to let go. That night, we didn't say much more. We just sat together on the couch, wrapped in each other's arms. I fell asleep against his chest, listening to the slow, steady rhythm of his breathing. The next morning, I woke up before him, my head still spinning from the wine and from what had happened. I watched his peaceful face and felt a mix of guilt, excitement, and something else, something that felt dangerously close to love. When he finally opened his eyes, he looked at me with the same warmth, but also with a heavy sadness. "We have to figure this out," he said softly. I nodded, not sure what the future would hold. All I knew was that everything had changed between us. Some part of me was terrified. Another part felt alive in a way I never had before. As the morning sun streamed into the room, I knew that no matter what happened next, that night would stay with me forever. It wasn't just a mistake. It was a moment that turned my entire world upside down, a secret, a confession, and a new beginning all wrapped into one stolen kiss. And somewhere deep inside, I knew this was only the start of a story that neither of us would ever be able to forget.